Hi, I'm Goddess Cecilia, and I'm joined by a really awesome group of folks who identify as Filipinx in some way or another. And we are here today to have another conversation about how our identities as Filipinx-Americans intersect with body image, gender expression, self-esteem. So if everyone could kind of introduce, say your name and your pronouns, please, that would be lovely. Let's start on this side.
My name is Sarah. I have no preferred pronouns, and that's it.
My name is Jade Phoenix, she, her, her.
I'm Cecilia, and she, her, hers.
I am Andrea, and I'm she, her, hers.
Yes.
And she, her, hers.
So speaking personally, I felt that this topic was going to be one that may actually be one of the hardest ones. I mean, trauma certainly is extremely personal, but this is like, there's a potential for it to be more visible, especially because, you know, just on the basis of skin color, you know, on the basis of like, we might have more Filipinx features, and walking in a world that is, you know, the mainstream culture still errs towards the side of like very European features and things like that. What are some things that you remember hearing at home as a young person about bodies? What was good, what was bad, you know, quote unquote, right? Like it's all very subjective, and it's kind of how we interpreted those things, those sayings.
When you're talking about like European features, as a baby, I was always told before I go to sleep to pinch my nose like this 10 times. And I never wanted a pointy nose, so instead I would always do this. I would tell Nana, like, I'm not gonna do that to my nose. I'm gonna flatten my nose more because I like my small nose.
I thought that was only my family.
I was always like,
They always made fun of my nose, like when I was younger. And like, I thought it was like just me. And now hearing her talk about it, I'm like, it happens in your family too.
Mine too. For me, I was always praised because I had a really strong bridge and it wasn't flat. You have such a beautiful nose, and everyone was telling me that they just like were so like happy about it for me. And it's really unique because also I was being raised, socialized as male. They're always telling me that like, oh, you're so handsome, you're so guapo, you're so pogi. And a lot of that was like the nose, and then like just having more softer features than like my siblings. And so I just heard that all the time growing up, was that like I was always like pogi or guapo.
I also heard a lot of the, you don't want to get too dark kind of conversation. You don't want to play outside for too long.
Right.
And I remember like questioning that, like why is that the case? You know, but that's not even necessarily something that's just here in the US.
No.
Right?
Culturally, it's all across. I mean, that's all part of white supremacy.
Yeah.
Every culture, the lighter shade of that culture is the one that you see on television, is the one you see represented in media. And I mean, that's the same for me and my family. So it's like, my mom is lighter skinned, my dad is darker skinned. There's 4 children. 2 of us got the darker skin, 2 of us got the lighter skin. The 6 of us, there's like 3, clearly you're the lighter skin. People are like, you all Chinese or something?
You guys related?
There's 3 of us that are like the darker skin.
That's funny.
And I used to think that like taking hot showers would make me darker. Because I was like, just like as a kid was like, I didn't, and I was like always taught to not want to be dark. Now it's like, I just like I love my brown skin.
Yeah.
Like, I really cherish it, and I'm grateful for it.
Right.
And it's definitely something I'm proud of. But it's something that you have to like learn to get to that point, because of the ways that we're just taught that being darker isn't as pretty or isn't as desirable.
Right. In all the ways, just walking around.
Yeah.
Even if no one outwardly said it, it's just like implied a lot of the time. Yeah.
I praise being dark. I love being
for sure.
I love being brown. What the heck?
Right.
My sister, like my dad's side, they're all like mestizas, Chinese like features.
Yeah.
My sister got that, and so everyone was always comparing like, their sister's so much lighter than you. She has much nicer complexion than you. Nope. I praise being brown. I love my skin color.
I feel like I had a weird conflicting upbringing because, like you said, right, Eurocentric was like the thing, and my mom married a white guy and had me and my brother, and So in some ways we were praised, but at the same time, I think my mom had this like guilt around, you know, like she didn't have brown children, you know, or like, so she would not necessarily like make fun of us, but she would always point out that we were white, like, and that we were, you know, sort of different. And I always felt weird because I identified as Filipinx, like, primarily. So I was like, am I not Filipinx? Like, do I not get to feel that way about myself, or, you know?
It's interesting that your mom was the one
Right.
pointing that out.
Yeah,
Kind of like an internalized, like, white supremacy kind of thing.
exactly, exactly.
I wonder if there was a little bit of like, not guilt, maybe a little guilt.
That's what I'm wondering.
You
It's
know?
like, I know she wants to be aware of her internalized, like, oppression, but in that, like, it manifested in having white children, and
Right.
I don't know how she felt about that, or, you know.
So did she, like, not want to teach you Tagalog? And
Oh, I mean, I didn't learn
yeah, I mean, I
anything.
did.
Yeah.
But,
That's a whole nother conversation.
I know.
Learning a language is like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a whole nother conversation,
for sure.
you know? And then I feel like that's also part of like trying to fit in, right?
Conforming
Like trying to
Western-
conform,
Yeah.
trying to pass
Mhm.
almost, even though like, can you really?
No.
You know?